Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. Come and get. Oh, my computer's going funny. Here we go. It will wake up in a minute. Come and get your bookkeeping done with me today. So, we want to get on top of our bookkeeping. There is nothing worse than feeling like you don't know who you owe, how much money is going through the bank, what your cash flow situation is like. You need to be feeling in control of things. So, are you ready to absolutely get on top of it and understand your cash flow? Now, we are going to first off start at the very bottom. We're going to get on top of our bookkeeping transactions. So whatever you use, whether that's HubDoc, Dext, whatever you use, I want you to be thinking, right, I need to clear through all of these transactions. Every single invoice and receipt needs to be in the system. So whether that's taking photos of them on your phone and making sure that they're uploaded, we need to get everything into the system. Drop below, let me know what accounting software do you use? What are you going to try and do to catch up and get on top of these things? And if you want to just follow along and listen to what I suggest, feel free, because this is your time to set aside time to get on top of it. Your finances are incredibly important in your business, so we want to prioritize them. So without further ado, let's get on top of things. So first off, go into your receipt capture. If you haven't already captured your receipts, you've got some receipts in front of you, let's get snapping. This is really important. We want to feel completely on top of things. So start snapping. If not, and if I put myself on mute, it's just because we're getting straight into it. We're going to get straight onto the bookkeeping. But in terms of, so as well, I've also got work going on next door. So if you hear a noise, I'm very, very sorry. But let's get on with getting on top of all of your transactions and making sure that you feel like you understand what's going on again. So if you're indexed, you want to be going to the ready section, making sure that you flick through and check that everything that is there is correct. You might want to sort by supplier so that you're going through each supplier all in one go. You need to be checking things like VAT. Is there any VAT on it? That's if you're VAT registered. If you're not, it will just be no VAT for all of them. And you just want to be making sure that you've allocated every single invoice and receipt to the correct one. Now, if you get stuck on anything and you have any questions, please do pop it in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the comments so that I can help you as best as I can. But you just want to go through each supplier and ask yourself, does it have VAT on it? Is it coded to the correct place? You know, is it a motor vehicle expense? Is it an asset that I've bought? Things like that. And you want to make sure that it's coded to the correct place. Where to start? Get your invoices in, get your receipts in to the system. And then you want to start being able to push them through into your accounting software. I know it can be super, super daunting if you don't have accounting software. You might want to go and see if you can get set up on accounting software. Most of them, certainly Xero does like normally about 75% off for 6 months, which is an absolute bargain. You're literally paying pounds for an amazing software. So do go and have a look. And you want to be going into each invoice, categorizing it. As I say, checking the VAT, checking it matches, and then pushing it through. Typical, I've got somebody at the door, bear with me. Be handy if I took myself off mute on the other streaming platforms. So I just had a password as well. So that's the beauty of working from home. And yes, I have a blanket on. I'm not cold, it's boiling today, but I sort of have to shade myself in here and quite like being a bit cozy. So remember, we're checking those VAT items, making sure that the VAT is correct. If you're VAT registered, this is super, super important. You don't want to be claiming VAT that's incorrect, so you need to double check everything. And you want to make sure it's coded to the right place. Is it a credit note or is it an invoice? Is it a delivery note? Delivery notes are actually quite deceiving. So you need to triple check that things are not delivery notes. They should all be invoices. Okay, let's have a look. So you want to make sure all the same suppliers should be going to the same places, really. And what you can also be doing is setting up sort of auto-publish rules. So for instance, we want to make sure, I'm just going to duplicate my tab because that's what I do. If I'm looking at something, I just duplicate the tab. Can I join? Of course you can. Yeah, Lewis, just start doing some of your bookkeeping and ask any questions you have and we'll start working through it because it will help everyone to get on top of their bookkeeping again. So what you want to do is you want to go to not your integrations, where is it? You want to go to your suppliers if you're dealing with your supplier invoices. And you want to go to see what is currently set up as auto-publish. So there will be some things that can always go there. So let's have a look. Oh, what happened there? Oh, somebody sent me a rose. Thank you. Sent me 3 roses. Thank you so much. That is very new to me, so thank you. So, oh my goodness, somebody else did, I think. Thank you so much. It was you again. I really appreciate it because this is my, I don't know if you see that, but I just achieved a goal. It's very exciting for me. Sorry guys over here on this live stream. Basically, I'm on TikTok live as well and just getting far too excited because I've never received a rose before and now I've suddenly received 5, which is very, very exciting. So I really appreciate it. I don't even know, like, educate me. How does it all work? Does anyone know on any of the live streams, like how can I as a viewer like afford the roses? Do you have to pay for coins, or do you just receive them by like how's it work? Tell me everything. Right, so I found my supplier. I did. There it is. And I want to set auto publish on because they're going to the same place. Let's see if there's any others. Yeah, there's quite a few. What we want to do is we want to organize it as well by, thank you so much. I'm actually like, you're making my day. We want to organize it by items so that we can see like who are the biggest suppliers and where does all their stuff go. And this is good to do for all of our clients. It's just to make sure that things are getting pushed through. Thank you so much. I'm still getting stuff. It's just, yeah, don't know how to react to it. Thank you. It's definitely made my day, and it will definitely make my marketing assistant's day because she's amazing and she'll be over the moon. I've just told her that I've got loads of gifts on my TikTok live that I'm very happy about it. Where's the face with the like tears in your eyes? Here we go. I got it. That's how happy I am, by the way. Right. Let's carry on. So we just want to go down the list. So basically, if you're a Dext user, you can go down and you can look through all your suppliers and make sure that everything is as auto-published as possible. Brilliant. And I can't actually see who is joining me. Oh, yes, I can. Of course I can. So yeah, we want to make sure everything is as auto-published as possible. So I'm just going through and checking. We obviously can categorize things as much as possible. So I've just been told that they cost you money to get those things. Lucy, please do educate me and tell me, you know, like how do you get that? Tell me more. Can you hear that? I hope you can't. I don't think this mic picks it up, but I'm not sure about my phone. So I'm really sorry if that noise is incredibly annoying. Cool. Okay. So, oh, nearly. Bear with me a second, guys. Okay, so yeah, we want to go through everything, make sure everything is as up to date as possible. So just going through from item numbers, I obviously want to, we can hear it. Oh no. That's so nice, Lucy. Thank you. Keep the love coming. I'm all for it. That is so nice. I love that. Yeah, it's highly annoying, to be honest with you. Especially if you're focused and working on something. I've got a few YouTube videos that I want to get done, and I just keep looking out, and they've got quite a lot of work they're doing out there. They're building like a conservatory or whatever, and I'm just like, I can't do a YouTube video with that noise. I just can't. So sometimes you have to accept defeat and just, when life gives you lemons, carry on. Right. I'm just clicking through and making sure that there's everything as up to date as possible. You know, there's some supplies that won't change. If we're looking at gas, actually, that's quite interesting. Yeah, if we're looking at gas, it might be that it just never changes. If we're looking at some travel ones, again, if it's a taxi company, it's always going to be going to travel. So we want to make sure that the system is set up so that it's going to travel as much as possible. So yeah, some things don't change. Other things do. So I want you to be aware of that as well. For instance, what's a really good example? Tesco's. Could be fuel, could be food, could be literally anything. Could be a new computer. Do they sell computers? Probably. It could be anything is the point. So you then wouldn't code Tesco's to fuel, because obviously you want to make sure that you're checking it. But yeah, a lot of things, as you're probably aware, are going to be the same every time, and we want to get them through. Amazon's a great example, as my colleagues just pointed out, because obviously with Amazon, it could literally be anything. You could be buying workwear from Amazon, but you could also be buying an asset from Amazon, tools, you know, whatever. So yeah, that's always helpful. Right, we're nearly there at getting everything as up to date on auto publish. This is going to save us loads of time. We just want to make sure that our time is utilized in the best way possible. Before we start, it's always a good thing to do. And then as we go along, we can check and make sure, you know, is there anything we missed? Anything that we can make sure is auto-published for next time. There will be some things we need to check. This won't work instantly. It will have to, you'll have to sort of publish everything that's in there already and then come back to it. But yeah. Right, let's hop in. Okay, another thing to point out to you all, let me just check something. Let me check. Basically, what you want to do is you want to go into, oh, that's it, connections and integrations, and you want to make sure that everything's working how you want it to work. If you have an approval system, it needs to say awaiting approval on everything, basically. We want to bank match the, so like autofill a payment. Basically what this means is that your system, so for instance, in this case, Dext, will match it to when the payment came in. If we hit that button, it will automatically show that things are matched off, which is really helpful because you don't then think, oh, that's due, even though you haven't reconciled your bank. Now, I know that's complicated and there's a lot to it all, but basically it's making things as simple as possible so that when we look in our accounting software, the information is as up to date as possible, things make sense. So we've got the tax list and we've got supplier rates. Let's have a look. Then what we want to do is we want to have exceptions. So we want single thing turned off, so ticked on Dext, apart from receipts and invoices. This is going to mean that basically it's going to stop things like delivery notes, etc. Again, it's the same situation. If you put it through now, it's then going to have a bit of a delay. So let's have a look. When it loads. Oh my goodness, my computer's having a funny one. Okay, it's just moved. Here we go. Yay. Right, back to our costs. Okay, so I'm just having communication with the client at the moment, just to make sure that things are all up to date as much as possible. Some suppliers, very interesting. They come through with a different name, which is super interesting. So if you look at an invoice and you're like, why is it down as that supplier? Make sure you change the supplier name to the correct name. Because I am going to go in and change that supplier. Thank you so much for sending more gifts. I'm just going to have a little look. Yeah, thank you guys. If you have any questions, please do chuck them in the comments. And I will try and keep an eye out. So let's change this one to the correct supplier. And let's have a look through again. What is here? So you might have cleaning invoices, you might have invoices for all sorts. You've got to be careful that if it's, say, a cleaning invoice, that it's all fully for cleaning, all sorts of things like that. want to be aware of. You know, if there's any split on any invoices, you want to make sure it's not going to auto-publish. That's super, super important. You want to make sure the VAT is correct, as in the system is picking up the correct VAT that is on the invoice. I don't expect you to know if somebody's charged you the correct VAT. They would have anyway. It's just straight 20% for most suppliers. Oh, what's this supplier? Right. And you want to make notes as well for next time, right? Like, you don't want to keep getting to the same point. Let's see if we can get there a bit quicker. You don't want to get to the same point next month where you think, what do we do for that supplier? So you want to make sure that you've got notes. I should have seen it there. Where is it? Okay. Wonder where these normally go. So what you can do is you can view all the ones that have gone through previously and see where they've all gone. And they've actually gone to different places for this supplier. So I'm not going to auto-publish this at all. Oh my goodness, guys, did you hear my stomach? Okay, let's get back to it. How are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Sorry, I haven't been keeping on top of the comments. But thank you if you've gifted me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's always lovely to see. So we're just going through our bookkeeping at the moment and trying to keep on top of things. If you don't know, I am a fully qualified accountant. I'm licensed and I own an accountancy practice. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to do is get on top of some bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is like the foundations of any business. So it's trying to make sure that things are up to date and working for you and your business. So I'm just making sure that I go through, check the VAT, check the accounts, check as in the supplier, check that everything's correct and accurate, and pushing things through to the accounting software. If you have any questions, yeah, of course I can. If you have any questions, please do ask. And yeah, well, we will see what we can get. So we're going through each of your invoices and receipts that you should have already put into your software, and we're just making sure things are fully up to date. We want to make sure that the things that we're looking at are actually invoices, they're not delivery notes and things like that. I can see. If it doesn't say it's an invoice, then it's probably a delivery note. It will say type and then it will say invoice. So this one's an invoice, so I'm happy with that. And what you'll see with a lot of things is you'll have like a little notification, so you can go in and click into each of your images on the same screen, so you can very quickly find out what's an invoice, if there's VAT, and if there's not, you can just push it through. Even like the order confirmations, you really want to keep them separate if you can help it, because you don't want to duplicate anything. There's nothing worse than duplicated items being in your accounting software. So you really want to keep an eye on these. And just to be honest, for us, we only accept invoices. So we're quite strict, but it's just to make sure that, you know, things aren't becoming duplicated. So I'm going to be ignoring all the orders for now. And make sure that I've got all my invoices. They've got the correct VAT on them. Please do ask any questions you have. Let me double check the chats. I don't think there's any questions coming through, which is fab. I'm assuming that you're just cracking on with your bookkeeping. And you want to make sure like where you're coding it to is actually accurate. If you're coding it to food, is it food? If you're coding it to cleaning, is it all cleaning? You know, things like that. Let's go ahead and triple check all of these. You will find credit notes in there as well, and that's always good. Just make sure they're either invoices or credit notes that are going through the system. And I'd be curious to know, are you VAT registered? Are you a small business owner who's not VAT registered? Please do let me know. Join in with your bookkeeping. See, very quickly, you notice duplicates. Okay, somebody's asked, what's the difference between a pro forma invoice and a regular invoice? That's a very, very good question, actually. A lot of the time with pro forma, outfit check, not sure what you mean there. A lot of the time with pro forma invoices, what you'll find is people normally need to receive a payment quite quickly. So personally, a pro forma invoice is okay, but you're going to receive another corrected invoice, an official invoice later on. So yeah. basically you can put it through your system, but you are going to have an amended one at a later date. Right, just trying to focus to get all of the information through. Okay, I've done a batch, which is lovely. It's always very satisfying watching them go off into your accounting software, which is nice. Remember, this morning we cleared through our emails. We want to be doing the same. We want to be keeping on top of things. Now, I wouldn't recommend jumping into your emails sort of midday, but for me at the moment, or like to break up your day, for me at the moment, I've processed quite a lot of documents, so they're actually flying through at the moment, and I'm just like, right, let's clear down some more emails, keep on top of things. So I'm going to head back over to my software. It's still publishing, but it's in a lovely position. These ones can be published as well. And all of these can then be archived because they will not be. Some of the questions on TikTok, I'm just like, what? I'm guessing you want to know what outfit I'm wearing because I'm sat at my desk, but I'm wearing my trousers, if that helps. Very, very odd questions coming from TikTok. I'm just going to go with it. There'll be some that you just have like confirmations from. Again, like a confirmation of like a direct debit going through is just, to be honest, a load of rubbish. I hate to say it, but it is. It's not going to help. So I'm just going to get rid of a load of these. They're all going straight into the archive to never be seen again because it offends me. Right. What invoices have we got here? Cool. These are looking lovely, as always. Ella's joined over there. I've got my other colleague James over here. 200. Cool. So we're going to publish a few more invoices through system. Now, you've got different inboxes on your Dext. So you've obviously got the main inbox with absolutely everything. You've got a to review section, which is going to be everything that TikTok has flagged. Oh my God, I just said TikTok. Dext has flagged as like needing to be reviewed, whether that's the supplier, the category, the tax amount, whatever it is. Maybe it's not picking it up correctly. Maybe it thinks it's an invoice or delivery note or, you know, whatever. Okay, and we want to make sure that things are super clear. So I always go straight to ready. I always like to push them through as much as possible. Double checking the VAT. It's all looking lovely. We've got proper invoices in here. Thank you so much. I got another gift. Just going to be celebrating all afternoon. I got gifts. Who is excited for my exciting news that I'll be sharing on TikTok soon? I've got some big life changes. Life changes? Yeah, big things that happened, and it will all be shared very, very soon. So stay tuned. And if you just want to eat healthy, go and have a look at my granola, because I make homemade granola, and it's very good, if I do say so myself. These systems are very, very clever. So Dext is just incredible at picking out information. There's one called HubDoc, which comes free with Xero. And again, it is very good. It's not as good as Dext at all. I'm going to apologise in advance for that noise. I can mute you guys over here. We can carry on doing our bookkeeping. Sorry, I put you guys on mute because you just didn't need to hear all that racket. You guys on TikTok, you just had to suffer. So apologies for that. Okay, I've got it down loads. Let's just see if I can get these last 30 down, and then we will move on, and I'll be teaching you all different things that might be beneficial in your business. So Lovely jubbly. What's this? Love a handwritten one. I don't really. Just being sarcastic. They're quite ugly, really. Some things are incredibly random as well. Okay, makes sense. So remember, with uniforms, they have to be tax deductible. We have to make sure that they are definitely tax deductible. The invoices that say view invoice, unless you click in and press view invoice and send it across, if you're just sending something that doesn't actually take me to the invoice, I'm just going to receive something that says it was X amount view invoice, and that's not very helpful. So that one will be archived. Thank you for joining me on all platforms, by the way, guys. I can see you all on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on TikTok, so it's always good. And I've always got my timer running, so I can see exactly how long things are taking me. Which is nice because, especially as the owner of a practice, the first thing that you should be doing is timing yourself, seeing how long things are taking, and getting on top of things. You need to know where you're spending your time. Granted, I'm spending my time doing bookkeeping, but it's to really make sure that I'm involved in it, and there's no VAT on that, and I know sort of exactly what's going on. And sometimes we muck in to help each other, you know. So also, I can then come on and answer any questions that you guys have and hopefully help you out. Right, this is looking lovely. Let's have a look. What have we got here? It's very annoying that. Also, you want to be looking, like, if they're VAT registered, they need to be having like VAT numbers on the invoice. Like, it should all be stated at the bottom. Obviously, if they're established business and they're set up, they should have that. But you will be surprised the amount of businesses that are sort of winging it, doing their best, and they just did not know that they needed this information. So, yeah. It's always best that you're on top of things, because at the end of the day, if you get a VAT inspection or, you know, any other inspection by HMRC, you need to be able to show these invoices and prove it, which is why we get everyone to sort of process all their invoices. Everything's electronic. We don't need to worry about lost receipts and all those silly things. It's also really funny, this job, because sometimes you get somebody putting like a little handwritten note on them, and sometimes it's little things like paid or not paid or whatever, but also sometimes you get like quite a funny little, it's quite a quirky job, really. You really do see the in-depth sort of side of the business, and as a bookkeeper you then sort of really get to know a business on a deeper level, which is quite nice, to be honest. There's a statement. I don't want to see a statement. Dexter's brought a really cool thing out, though, where eventually statements will basically be going into a separate section, which is really handy. And then when we've got the statement, but we haven't got one or two of the invoices on that statement, it's then going to shout at us and be like, remind the client. So statements will actually become more helpful. But right now, there's loads of these things that it just means nothing. Random email showing something, it means nothing. So and we have to just archive them. And it's difficult because clients will come to us and say, you know, it's been sent through, but has it, because if it's just the email that shows view invoice button, we can't click into that view invoice button. So there's also some very interesting supplier names. I can't even repeat this supplier name, but it's just so funny. It's just so funny. I'm not even going to repeat it. I'm just not. But some of the supplier names, they're either like a pun and play on words, you know, they're just having a laugh. That's their business, their brand, and it's lovely. But some of them are just absolutely hilarious. So it's certainly a job that keeps you entertained. There's no definitely, you sit here, you understand the business more, and you just have a little bit of a chuckle as you go along, which you can never complain about. People also buy personal things, you know, they'll put through personal flights, and you think, yeah, you're not getting away with that one. So there's all sorts of things like that as well, which can be quite hilarious how people think they can put it through. Don't get me wrong, people, you know, have flights and they go and do things for the business, and that's really important. And that is completely, if it's tax, you know, if it's to do with the business and it's solely, you know, the intent of the flight is to go and do business, then that's totally fine. But it's when it's not wholly and exclusively for the purposes of the business, that they're just going on holiday with their kids, you know, that is absolutely crazy. Right. That one, publishing. Let's have a look at these last few, because I've got it down to 13. Lovely. Right, let's get those published. I've got it down absolutely loads. So certainly can't complain. Some things you look at an invoice or a receipt and you're like, what is that? Because it's got all the little codes and you try and work out exactly what somebody has bought. A lot of the time you know anyway. Then you can publish it. What is this that's been bought? Oh, I just had a little notification. Cool. Right, that is super clear now, which is lovely. Let's go back to our main dashboard to have a look at what we want to get cleared. And what I want to look at now is if it hasn't cleared itself, why hasn't it? You know, some of these things will be really sort of normal. Cool. So I need to now go into these guys' settings, so different company when it loads. And I need to open up the supplier list, duplicate the tab again if it works, not reload, duplicate. And I need to get as much as I can on auto publish. Obviously, if something shouldn't be auto published, I'm not going to put it through. Invoice, yeah, lovely, love to see an invoice. Also, I'm going to check before I go any further. I'm going to triple check my connections and the integrations tab. I've already done this the other day, to be honest. But this person, all of their stuff is awaiting payment, which is what I want. I'm going to autofill the payments because they're going to help me a little bit, and I can only see invoices and receipts. So it's already going to cut out a load of that rubbish for me. And in ready, why is there stuff in here? So there'll be companies that I'm very happy with. So let's go back to suppliers. Let's do the same thing we did last time. Let's organize it by item numbers. So some things will just differ and we can't help that. It's just going to differ and we need to double check things. Let's see if it appears the one that I want. You're the one that I want. Thought it was going to appear higher up, but whatever. Oh, it'll be here, won't it? Will it? Will it not? No. Here it is. Right. That needs to be on auto publish. Cool. Let's chuck it through. And next time, I won't have to look at it. There's another one that I've got here. Let's go down in alphabetical order. Here we go. Again, auto publish. Let's get it going to the place I want it to go. Lovely jubbly. some things you do have to be careful with because we want to check things, as I say, like Tesco's and things like that. But in these situations, I'm very happy. So my review pile has gone back to, my ready pile, sorry, has gone back to nil. What do I need to review? Right, let's make a category for that. So what we want to do is get to the point where loads of it is on auto. This one needs to be auto. Cool. Lovely. This, what's this one? Oh my goodness. Nearly got rid of my tab. Thought I did, but I didn't. Just closed it. By the way, if you ever get rid of your tab, Control, Shift and T, absolute game changer. I don't know why. I think it's my mouse. It just has this funny thing. Maybe it's the actual thing I'm using it on. I just use it on the desk. But it just pings it to the corner sometimes, and I've shut down all my tabs. And if you're anything like me, you've got 1,000,001 tabs open, which you shouldn't do. But that's what I do. And it's very heartbreaking when you do it. But now I just don't worry at all, because I just know that I'll be able to get them back up really quickly. Right, lovely. Let's have a look at our next supplier. Okay, I'm not worried about that one. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. Cool, so I've got some things to archive now as well. So some people send in things. I will tell them time and time again that, you know, there's certain things we don't need to be sent in. I don't want a client wasting their time. And we're back down to 0, which is lovely. Right, let's have a look. Is there anything else I can clear through? Let me just change my timer over, because that's what I do every time I move from one task to another when it loads. Cool. Stop that for a second. My lists have been a little bit slow today, but it's fine. It's lovely to do this at the end of the month, just to get on top of things again. Right, let's hop over to the other side of bookkeeping now then. Just give you a feel for how you need to do your bookkeeping that side. So hop into your accounting software if you have accounting software. Maybe you have Xero, maybe you have QuickBooks, whatever it is. Let's get into it and start getting some stuff down. So first off, what I would suggest is picking basically what you're going to start off with. So I'm going to start on a single client. I always start my timer, and then I'm just going to hop straight in and see, is there anything I can clear? I have recently done this one, so it might be the case that I can't clear too much. You want to go into your bank account on your Xero dashboard or your QuickBooks dashboard or your free agent dashboard or, whatever. I need to get drinking as well because I'm doing the 75 hard challenge, and yeah, need to get drinking. So anything that's appearing green that's how it appears on Xero. I want you to check the transactions against each other and then click OK when you're happy with them. Just check the date so you're happy with, what's happened on that date. Are there any transfers that you need to move? In that case, instead of match or create, you're going to hit transfer and change it to the bank account that you want to move it to. You might have paid HMRC. Again, there's going to be payable accounts for depending on which tax you paid. So let's get those moved across. If you're VAT registered, I'm going to want to see every single green invoice there. Every single transaction that's in your bank needs to have an invoice that corresponds to it, and therefore we can reconcile it. Some things will naturally be 0 rated or no VAT anyway. If that is the case, we can set up bank rules and push them through. If you're not VAT registered, we can just code things. But what you need to, if you're doing it that way, what you need to think about is we're doing it like that for a reason. And basically, you still need to have invoices and receipts in the background. It's better to have them there if you can, as good practice. If you go VAT registered, then fantastic. If you don't, fine. But at least you're sort of on top of things. If you ever get an HMRC inspection, it doesn't just happen with VAT, it happens with self-assessment and all sorts of things like that as well. So if it does happen, then at least you've got everything in your accounting software. You give them access to it and you go for it, have a look, see what you can find, because we're on top of things. Right, I've smashed through that client. That was 3 minutes. So we're gonna hop on to next thing. We're gonna see what we can get down as much as possible. Let's actually go down the list. Just gonna open up my beautiful Xero dashboard that's going to tell me what I need to do. Just like to go down the list as much as possible. Let's go on to the next one. Is it on my list to do? Why is my list not alphabetical? It's very frustrating. And if you're using HubDoc, let's hop into HubDoc and see what is in there. For instance, with this client, there's nothing in there. So let's see if we can clear anything on the bank, and if not, we'll be going on to the next one. That one's actually been sorted, so that's fine. It's already up to date, to be honest, which is really lovely. Good position to be in. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, I'm going to start my timer and get cracking. So let's always start off, if you've got a Stripe, let's always start off on the Stripe feed. And I was actually talking to a client the other day about this, and they were basically saying, how do I use a Stripe feed? How do I do it? There's like 3 transactions for one thing, and they were freaking out, right? Basically, don't overthink it. You've got payout, so money going into your account from, no, let's start from the start. You got your sale, okay? Out of that sale, you got your fee. They're separated, and then together you then get your payout. So the money is coming into your account. So it's just separated into sales fees and the payout. So you literally just need to code them to a fee account for your Stripe fees, your sales account, and your payout. Your payout is a transfer. It's going to be transfer into hopefully your business account. And if you haven't already noticed my 0 water bottle, shame on you. Just making sure everything's pushed through correctly. Remember, you can set up bank rules for all sorts of things like this to help speed things up. And then once you've gone through all your Stripe feed, it should say 0 reconciled. Yay, great job, which is always lovely. And we want to be checking, like, has the client sent through anything that we can then publish or process? And then what you'll see as well, the Stripe amount coming through will also be on the bank. Obviously, there's like 2 days normally in between, so don't panic if you got the Stripe thing payout yesterday and it's not on your bank yet. That's why. But you probably already know that anyway, because there will be things like your card sales if you're like a retail business coming through directly into your bank. You might have cash sales and you're putting money into the bank. So all things like that need to be accounted for. So push through any card sales that you've got, any payroll amounts that you want to push through. You'll have the payroll journals there as well. Your bookkeeper or accountant will be doing that to make sure that they all sort of show in your accounts correctly. You want to make sure that we receive invoices for all of your fixed assets. So you need to make sure that they're going onto your fixed asset register and not just to like a random code, like a general expenses code, because that's going to show in your profit and loss, and we don't want it there. It needs to be shown as an asset on your balance sheet so that it looks like the business, you've got that asset. You can't just show it as an expense, Everyone should have assets on their business. If I see a balance sheet without assets, first thing I think is you do have something. Even the smallest of businesses have a laptop or, something most of the time. But yeah. So once you push through all of your wages, your sales, everything that you're happy with, we then need to make sure that there's invoices for everything else. So let's go through and push some more invoices through. Right, so that one's done. That was 5 minutes on bank rec. And let's have a look at some bookkeeping now. For the same client, just to get everything through and cleared as much as possible. And again, we want to be asking, is there anything that we can push through? Some of these things will just be statements. Don't want to see them. Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. Lovely jubbly. Archive those. Great example where, like a supermarket like Morrison's, obviously needs to always be checked. A lot of these are just confirmations. I can also let the client know that we don't need statements or confirmations, stock purchase confirmations. I just use this. And that's where communication comes in, like it's super important. I don't want anyone wasting their time. And if we have the system set up correctly, then, or like with all the extra ticks, then we won't receive those anyway. Let's check that we're happy with getting rid of all them. Amazing. Yeah, so as I say, statements will now come into the statements section of Dex anyway, and we'll be able to then request, you know, if there were 2 or 3 invoices on that whole statement that haven't come into Dex, it will flag it and tell us, and we can hit request and send it out to the client, so we can then sort of save their time. But confirmations are just a load of rubbish, to be honest with you, because they don't help. And some emails, but again, these things will be flagged in the system directly, because when you go into, I'll show you in a second. Let me just let's get rid of that. It's like things like stock confirmations are just literally telling me like what stock, instead of the amounts and things that we actually care about, instead of invoice numbers like you'd find on a statement, you know. Lovely. Beautiful. Back down to 0 for this client, which is nice. Get the bank up to date as much as possible, and then they will be sent a little list. But I will, in the meantime, let them know. We use WhatsApp quite a lot for our clients. People just find it really easy. Some people, it's not for them, you know. They love it, like emails and whatnot. Let's find out. So that's just letting the client know, you know, what's going on. Oh, okay. It's just going to change one thing, but whatever. Sent it already. Okie dokie. Let's just check their connections. They're all set up nicely. All awaiting payment. I want to see that autofill payment because I just like that. And it's only going to send through invoices and receipts. As I say, statements and remittances and credit notes. Credit notes are good, actually. I'm going to press credit notes. Delivery notes, whatever, will all go into a separate section. Most of them will be archived already, but the statements will go into a statement section. And we can then request them, which is always beautiful. Okie dokie. Let's get back onto the bank rec. Let me quickly change my timer over. So as you can see, these things, like that took 6 minutes, but it's quite bitty, you know. There's all sorts of little bits that we want to make sure are fully up to date. Let's see if I get any beautiful greens on my bank statement. Greens are the best things in the world. Let me just check my messages. Let's check in the chat. Is anyone? There's lots of people joining, which is always lovely. Thank you for joining. Right, let's have a look. Doop doop doo. Okie dokie. Right, we're gonna go for 15 more minutes and then I'm gonna have a lunch break because we could be going all day otherwise. Need to fill up my water as well, to be honest. Come on, there must be items to reconcile after that. I've got one. Is that it? That wasn't as satisfying as I'd hoped. We also do health scores for all of our clients, so we can hop in and at the top of our screen, we can see the health score of any client directly in Xero. So yeah, we can see sort of how their bookkeeping's looking health score wise, and we can like amend that health score depending on like what our standards are basically. So our standards are really high and we expect a client to be on at least 80%, if not more. So yeah, some of our clients are on like 90. So yeah, we're just trying to get them as high as possible basically. It's a bit of a challenge, but we should all be able to see when we go into Xero next to the client name, it should have a little bar and it should always tell us what the health score is on that particular client, which is always a good sort of gist as to where we are with that client. Right. So next one I'm going to hop on to. I'm also going to open up Apron, which I should have up here, which I do. Perfect. Let's have a look. That's not correct. Okay, makes sense. Sometimes it's hard actually seeing on Xero, like on our screen, you've got to sort of follow it across. It's not always simple. I like it when things are simple. Just stop my timer. When it stops. Sometimes you press it and you're like, are you going to stop? Right. Righty. Who do we want to get down next? Oh, I've got a good one. We've done their bookkeeping. I've got a good one. Hello, I always see you on my FYP, which I'm guessing is follows you page or something like that. Bit new here, so please do bear that in mind. I am pretty good with the tech, believe it or not. I sound like I'm awful when I say stuff like that. Just not so much down with the kids on TikTok, but yeah. Oh, this person needs to connect their bank again. They are getting a nag from me. Let's have a look. This is why it's so lovely going in like constantly. We can just constantly see. I'm just basically asking the client, are you able to reconnect your account, please? Thanks, Lucy. Cool. Right, let's reconcile what's in there so far anyway. We're only missing a few days, so that's not a problem. But it's good to be on top of these things. So that when you go into your Xero, you can pull any reports and you can be on top of things. I love that you can always see me on your on one of your pages. That's really cool though, because I'm very, very new to TikTok, so thank you. How's everything going over here on Instagram? Hope it's all going well. And on YouTube, I've seen some new subscribers come through, so thank you. If you haven't checked it out already, I know obviously you want to stay on the live, but do go ahead and check out our YouTube channel. We've got loads of new stuff coming out. At the moment, I'm being consistent and on sort of 2 posts per month. It will ramp up, but for now, that's what we're doing. And yeah. It's going to be another one of those things where I thought I was going to be able to reconcile loads of stuff. Okay, that makes sense. I'm happy with that. So some things there will never be VAT on them, so we can push those through. You might have dividends if you're a limited company. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah, you might have dividends if you're a limited company. Sorry, I got very excited. I get excited when my friends join. So let's change this one. Travel most of the time is an exempt thing, so. Lovely jubbly. Right. Don't you just love that saying, lovely jubbly? So underappreciated. Let's stop the timer. Okay. So the way we work in the team. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah, the way we work is we all have like timers set, and we can all hop in and see when somebody's timer's on what. It's quite nice to just hop in and be able to be like, oh, they're doing that, I'll leave them alone. Beautiful. So as I say, push through any payroll stuff that you got on here. Love all the payroll stuff. It's just lovely and easy. Got some card sales again, push them through. Get all the card sales out of the way. Let's change to this person's bookkeeping. Cool. I will love you and leave you in about 5 minutes, guys. So it's our final clear up of the bookkeeping. Make sure we're on top of things. Make sure the sales are pushed through. Might have some zero rated goods on there. All sorts of things. Some more payroll, sales. I just love it. Sorry, guys, about the noise. How often do you review a client's bookkeeping? So all of our clients, just gonna wait. Am I gonna wait? Yeah. All of our clients are on monthly bookkeeping. So yeah, at least monthly. But for others, some people are on weekly bookkeeping and we'll keep on top of it weekly. Oh my goodness, that noise. Thank you. It's just doing it to annoy me now. So yeah, either weekly or monthly, but for the majority of the time, people are on monthly. But to be honest, I'm hopping in regularly anyway, and we're trying to keep on top of things. We want them to have the most up-to-date information. So if we can do it more frequently, then even better. So yeah. Anyway, we've got 3 minutes remaining. Who is going to get through their bookkeeping? Has anyone on here joined me, absolutely smashed the bookkeeping, feels like they're on top of things a little bit more now? It's really helpful in the comments to let me know sort of if it's been helpful to you. Yeah, it helps me to help you. If you've got any questions, ask away. But yeah, and apologies for the noise. I feel like we've done really well considering. It's hard enough, to be honest, I'm just stopping my time. It's hard enough, to be honest, to focus on work when that noise is going on. But then when I'm trying to explain stuff to you guys, it's even harder. So let's just have a quick flick through. Is there anyone that we can tickety tick off? I smashed my lunch. I love it. What a brilliant, brilliant achievement. But I didn't know we were doing bookkeeping, so I'll get prepared next time. Love it. That is brilliant. That's the best thing I've heard. I've smashed my lunch. But that's good. I'm going on my lunch in a couple of minutes. When I come back, got 101 things I want to be able to achieve today. But what we'll probably do is when we come back, we'll assess what we want to get done on our to-do list. So we're just going to write out, what are our expectations for the rest of the day. I will probably max be taking, I don't take an hour lunch, so I'll probably be back in about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And we can go through and we can really establish what we want to get done today. Maybe you want to hop on your lunch and say right, what do I want to get done personally? What do I want to utilize my lunch break for? Maybe I'm enjoying my break, sorting out some car insurance, sorting out whatever. Maybe you want to sort out your, what do I have on my personal list normally? All sorts of random things. So, what do I have on my list? I've always got a personal list, and it's always the thing that gets touched the least. It's low on priorities until it becomes a high priority, and I think, okay, I actually have to get that done today. But yeah, thank you for the YouTube subscribers, guys. And if you want to come and head over, it's Simplex Accounting or Simplex-Accounting. I think it's actually Simplex Accounting on YouTube, to be honest. I don't think it's got the hyphen in it. But come and follow us. You'll see me on there, Lucy Johnson, the accountant. And yeah, got loads of videos, hopefully really, really informative, hopefully straight to the point and cutting out the jargon. But I'm going to love you and leave you. Enjoy your lunch if you haven't had it already. And I'm now going to enjoy a load of banging and the bin men. So on that note, have fun and I'll see you later. Bye.